Number 1. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, and Mrs. Smith was very busy. She bought a lot of Christmas cards to send to her friends and to her husband's friends, and put them on the table in the living room. Then, when her husband came home from work, she said to him, "Here are the Christmas cards for our friends, and here are some stamps, a pen, and our book of addresses. Will you please write the cards while I'm cooking the dinner?" Mr. Smith did not say anything, but walked out of the living room and went to his study. Mrs. Smith was very angry with him, but did not say anything either. Then a minute later he came back with a box full of Christmas cards. All of them had addresses and stamps on them. "These are from last year," he said. "I forgot to post them."
Number 2. Mrs. Jones was waiting for an important telephone call, but she had no bread in the house, so she left the baby at home and said to his 5-year-old brother, "I am going to the shops, Jimmy, and I will be back in a few minutes." While she was out, the telephone rang, and Jimmy answered. "Hello," said a man. "Is your mother there?" "No," answered Jimmy. "Well, when she comes back, say to her Mr. Baker telephoned." "What?" "Mr. Baker. Write it down. B-A-K-E-R. How do you make a B?" "How do I make—" "Listen, little boy. Is there anybody else with you? Any brothers or sisters?" "My brother Billy is here." "Good. I want to talk to him, please." "All right." Jimmy took the telephone to the baby's bed and gave it to Billy. When their mother came back, she asked, "Did anyone telephone?" "Yes," said Jimmy, "a man, but he only wanted to talk to Billy."
Number 3. Nasredin had an old shed. It had no windows, so it was very dark, and it was full of old things. One day, Nasredin went into this shed to get a ladder, but slipped on something and fell against a big garden fork. The fork hit him on the head and knocked him down. Then it fell on top of him and hit him hard on the left leg. The ends of the fork then went into his long beard. He fought with the fork fiercely, and at last threw it off him, jumped up, and ran out of the shed. He was very angry. He had an old sword under his bed, and he now ran and got this. Then he ran back to the shed, opened the door suddenly, and shouted in a terrible voice, "All right, come out and fight, you and all the other folks in the world. I'm not afraid of you."
Number 4. A man always went to the same bar at the same time every day and asked for 2 glasses of beer. He drank them and then asked for 2 more. One day the man behind the bar said to him, "Why do you always ask for 2 glasses of beer? Why don't you get 1 big glass instead?" The man answered, "Because I don't like to drink alone. I drink with my friend." But a few days later, the man came in and asked only for 1 beer. "Oh," said the barman, "has your friend died?" "Oh, no," said the man. "He's very well. This beer is for him." "But I've stopped drinking beer. My doctor doesn't want me to drink any more because it's dangerous for me."
Number 5. Old Mr. Black loved shooting bears, but his eyes were not good anymore. Several times he nearly shot people instead of bears. So his friends were always very careful when they went out shooting with him. One day, a young friend of his wanted to have a joke. So he got a big piece of white paper and wrote on it in very big letters, "I am not a bear." Then he tied it to his back and went off. His friends saw it and laughed a lot. But it did not save him. After a few minutes, Mr. Black shot at him and knocked his hat off. The young man was frightened and angry. "Didn't you see this piece of paper?" he shouted to Mr. Black. "Yes, I did," said Mr. Black. Then he went nearer, looked carefully at the paper and said, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't see the word not."